Released in August 1993, Metamorphic Force is one of Konami's last arcade beat-em-ups. This and Violent Storm were Konami's swan song at the arcade since the genre started to lose traction thanks to the arrival of fighting games. But even being one of the last games, Metamorphic is also one of the best games from the Japanese giant and, for the joy of our pockets, not a very difficult one. Metamorphic is coming out tomorrow for Switch and PS4, brought by Hamster Corporation as part of their Arcade Archives collection, and we will see if this game is worth the $8 asked, but before all that, hi, I am Savino, and welcome to the Flying Kick channel. First of all, just to be clear, the version I'm playing here is being emulated on RetroArch. As you can see, I'm using a pretty neat shader and I can talk about it in another video if you guys want. With that said, let's talk about the game. In Metamorphic Force you will be fighting... Are you ready? You will be fighting the evil King Death Shadow, the ruler of the Empire of Horror, who has come back to life once again to rule the world. To avoid the world falling into the hands of this demon, Athena, yeah, that Athena, the Greek goddess, summoned the souls of 4 ancient warriors and bestowed her powers to them so they could, again, finish this evil. I mean, this is not Shakespeare, but it is at least more interesting than, hey cobras, we kidnapped the chick. And you gotta love the evil King Death Shadow. Now I want to have another kid just to give him this name or her, I don't care. More than anything, Metamorphic Force is a gorgeous game. I love this Saturday morning cartoon vibe from this game and I love how everything is very, very colorful here. The characters are huge and detailed, and the vibrant colors used on the enemies are amazing. Vibrant greens, lively purples, shades of blue and yellow. This game is like a rainbow, and I love it. The backgrounds are also very good. Not only they are very well done with lots of details like these statues here, but they also have some Easter eggs from other Konami games, and the most important of all things, they have a lot of parallax scrolling. It's impressive. Most levels here have 2 or 3 layers of parallax and it looks gorgeous. And not only the parallax, but some of the backgrounds have some crazy distortion effects and motion that you don't see in other games from this time. The animation is also pretty good. I mean, they are not amazing, but they are what you could expect from the time. You get even some cool idle animations that change according to your character state, and you also have this. I mean, come on, dude, that's not how you... never mind. Overall, this is a game that I love to watch in motion thanks to its lovely visuals. When it comes to the sound, well, I mean, this is Konami we're talking about, so you know there will be some very good music here. And, my friends, what an amazing OST we got here. Seriously, this is probably one of the best OSTs in any Konami beat-em up, even beating, in my opinion, Violent Storm, which has one of the most awesome OSTs ever. Konami opted for tunes leaning toward progressive rock, and some of the tunes here remind me a lot of PFM or Premiata Forneria Marconi, an Italian band from the 70s that is awesome. Seriously, take a listen to this and tell me if this isn't amazing. I would love to have some high-quality version of this. I mean, these are very good, but I would kill for some better versions to live on my phone. I know Konami released back in the day a 2-disc CD album, but unfortunately I never came across it. When it comes to the rest of the sounds, the game also doesn't disappoint. There is nothing really special to your hits, but they will do their job nicely. There are some very nice voices here that are pretty clear and easy to understand even for a non-native speaker like me. I mean, some arcade games make it impossible for me to understand what they are saying, and here it was pretty easy. All bosses have a line or two before you face them, and they are pretty funny and add a lot to the game in my opinion. Finally, let's talk about the gameplay and combat because there's a lot of cool things to discuss here. First, Metamorphic Force isn't a huge game. It has 6 levels, but the levels are short and sweet, and you can beat this one alone in less than 35 minutes. One interesting thing in this game is the difference between the US and Japanese version. I'm playing the Japanese one because I think it's a little bit better, but it's also a little bit easier than the US one. First difference you notice is the health bar. While the Japanese version uses a traditional health bar, the US version uses a counter, much like in the style of Adventure Island or Gauntlet, where your health will depleted with time. This is a cheap mechanic to make the game harder, and honestly, I don't like it. I mean, you are being punished just for being in the game. The 5th level is also different in both versions. While the US version has a boss rush with all previous bosses appearing in pairs, the Japanese version has a regular and more interesting level with only one boss at the end. The combat here is pretty simple and is no different from what was the standard at the time. You got an attack, a jump, a grab, and a special that will take a bit of your health when used. If you played other Konami beat'em ups, especially X-Men, you know what you're going into. While this is a pretty nice addition and makes things more interesting, the combat here has its downsides like most Konami beat'em ups. Enemies feel a bit soft since the hit stun animation is not that great like the ones you would find in Capcom beat'em ups. It is something that I never liked too much in most Konami games and it was improved in Vendetta, but weirdly not here. I'm not saying the combat is bad, on the contrary. It's pretty fun, especially hitting enemies on the floor, but it's not as tight as you would expect from games in 1993. Metamorphic has an awesome gimmick that makes it a bit unique when it comes to beaten up from this time. You start the game as a regular human and as a human you are weak and pathetic, capable of doing little to no damage to your enemies. But from time to time this dude here will appear and drop a golden statuette that will transform you into an anthropomorphic beast that is extremely powerful. Each one of the 4 characters has a unique transformation. You have Bun the Minotaur, Claude the werewolf, Max the werepanther, and finally Ivan the werebear. While they have some notable differences in human form, like Claude have the longest reach and Ivan being the strongest, I really don't see much of a difference when they are in their animal form. Yeah, you will notice that the werewolf has a slightly longer reach than the others and the bear is the slowest one, but when it comes to strength, they all feel equally strong. It's hard to tell the difference in strength because, like all Konami games, enemies don't have a health bar and you can kill most of them with a single basic combo, no matter which character you are using. Although I call it a gimmick, this is actually how you will spend most of your time in this game. You will just return to your human form when your life is almost over, and even so, that dude who drops the gold statue will appear to help you pretty shortly. Actually, he will appear a lot in the game, dropping these small statues. These are pretty useful when in your beast form because they can give you a clear screen attack that can be pretty helpful, especially against bosses. Speaking of which, the bosses are cool and, as I said, they have some fun lines before the fight, but they don't feel very special. They are not much bigger than you and they don't feel as imposing or threatening as the bosses you can find in other Konami games. They are even a bit easier to beat since they don't have too many different attacks. Actually, this is probably one of the easiest games from Konami, and while this can feel a bit disappointing for some, I think it's a good thing since you can easily beat this one and have fun while doing it. It can be a perfect game to play with that friend who is not so well versed in the genre and even as a good introduction to classic beat'em ups. Metamorphic Force is a game that deserved more. It never got the recognition it deserved, never reaching the top 10 most played games lists from that era. It's a shame because this is a very good game and one of the few original IPs from Konami. For $8, I'd say this is a bit expensive for what it offers, but since hamster games are almost never on sale, I'd say go for it if you want to complete your collection. And you'll get both versions, US and JP, so you can see for yourself the differences between both games. The gameplay is fun, the soundtrack is awesome, and the challenge is fair, leaning more for the easy side than anything else, which can be a good thing if you're looking for a game to relax. There are other ways to play this game nowadays, but I think it's a good idea to support hamsters since they are helping to preserve these games in some way. I mean, a physical collection with all hamster games so far for $60 wouldn't hurt, but while this doesn't happen, let's be glad that more people are now able to play another classic from this classic era. And that's it for the review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and tell me in the comments if you're getting this one, or if you already played it, what are your thoughts about it. On my site you can find more information about the game, screenshots, and even the complete soundtrack so you can listen to some of the best tunes around. I will be back pretty soon with the review of the upcoming Vengeance Hunters, so keep an eye on the channel and subscribe if you haven't yet. Other than that, I hope you all have an awesome day, and remember, keep it up.